Well, he's in great spirits. I can tell you that. That's not that abnormal though. Change is refreshing for a lot of people. Sometimes though, if you get on the bike, well, say you get on a new bike and it's not what you want it to be, you can be a little bit downtrodden, but that decision would have been made over the summer. Like he rode the bike months and months and months ago. So this isn't a new scenario for him as far as like a guessing game as to riding the motorcycle. And I was more referring to if you're on a team and you're staying on the same team and they introduce a new model and it's your first time riding that new model and you just really don't like it, that's tough. Like that's a tough day because you have a lot of work to do and you've taken a step backwards with that model. This wasn't that scenario, right? I just spoke with him. I think he's happy with how things are going. He got that cable clutch that he really wanted. I know KTM is catering to him hand and foot, trying to make him happy. And I think, it's sometimes a change of scenery does a lot of good, right? It just adds some variety to your program. It doesn't feel stale anymore. It's, new people, new staff, new everything. And it kind of gives you a reason to wake up in the morning because there's so much newness around him. So I didn't get to watch him ride. I obviously watched all the same video clips that everybody else did. But I think with Eli, if he's in good spirits, usually good things happen because he's typically not in good spirits unless he's in a good situation, if that makes sense. Right? One kind of leads the other and they feed off of each other. His riding dictates his mood, but his mood is only good if he's riding really well, right? So if he's there and jovial and laughing and talking, then things are obviously going pretty well. So I like the setup for him, but I do have questions. And the questions come with he's never ridden an Austrian, never raced an Austrian bike before. Different engine package, different suspension components, different suspension technicians, different basically everything, right? Like every ounce of the motorcycle is going to be a different dynamic. And he has had very similar surroundings for a long time. Ricky Gilmore, his suspension guy, has traveled to different teams with him because he is so particular about his motorcycle that way. So without that, going to WP with different staff, with different internals, with just a lot of change to work through and adapt to. And I think that the older you get, you kind of get stuck in your ways and it's harder to be flexible with things you like or don't like. So, my prediction kind of with Eli is I think there will be weekends where everything clicks and everything's fine. It's the weekends where it's difficult. The bike's not working the way he wants to. He doesn't have a ton of data to draw from because it's his first year on the motorcycle. And you can't just say, well, what is AP running? Eli's setup is so particular. He runs the rear really tall. He wants these very specific things with the motorcycle that he can't just say, well, give me what he's having, right? Where I think that is a big benefit to Jet and Hunter sometimes. If Jet can't get the motorcycle the way he wants it, he'll literally just say, well, give me what Hunter has, right? Or vice versa. They'll just run the other guy's setup and say, well, it must be working for him, so I'll just run that. That's not something that I think Eli's willing to do because his tastes are so unique and so particular. So I do think there will be weekends, both indoors and out, where he is doing a lot of searching to try to get the motorcycle to be compliant and do the things he wants it to do.
Yeah, it's awesome insight there. There's a lot to sort of water to go under the bridge before you know he's going to be completely comfortable. So they'll be working away pretty hard, a couple of months out from the start of the season for sure. And obviously, next man is Prado. He's got his move officially announced. It's been in the works for a while now, but he looks like he's on a 1 year deal there. The time is now for him, isn't it, mate? Obviously, pretty forgettable 2025. He'll be hoping this is the catalyst to get back to his best. He said already, obviously, they give a bit of lip service in these interviews, but he said everything's clicked with the bike. I guess he feels like he's back home and he plans on spending some time in California and on the East Coast with the Baker's factory. So that'll be an interesting dynamic to watch play out. And he's also said he's done some outdoor riding and he was happy with the suspension and the setup and also some Supercross days as well, mate. So all systems ahead for Supercross in 2026. And I guess the most important thing for him will be to actually get through the season healthy, which he wasn't able to do last year in Supercross. So big year ahead for Prado, isn't it?
Yeah, and I was able to speak with him as well. And he said he's going to spend most of his time in California. So I think he just feels comfortable being around the team with the California environment. Man, the weather was just out of this world there, so I completely understand it. And if you can handle living in California. You don't mind living there. It's comfortable. It's so convenient there, right? And it's a beautiful place to live. But a lot of riders want to be back in Florida and they family life and all these things. Like there's a lot of taxes. There's a lot of reasons to be in Florida. But if you choose to be in California and you're happy with it and you're on a factory team, life is very easy. I will just say that. You don't even have to take your motorcycle anywhere. You literally just you can have a car and you drive to the track, you show up, everything's there, the track's prepared, your mechanics there, the suspension technicians are there, everything is in place and ready for you to go about your business every single day. All you have to worry about is being the best racer you can be, physically, mentally, preparation wise. The team handles everything else. So I understand why he would want to be there. And also, one of the most important aspects of that is for him to have the suspension technicians there every single day, I think is going to be important for him. Where a guy like AP, he's going into his fifth season with the team. There's not a lot of change. There's not a lot of reason for him to be testing day after day after day. They're going to get some new parts in early December. They're going to try them, but kind of knows what's available. Like there's not a big kind of tidal wave of change as far as like what's going to be available. So AP can just go back to Florida and focus on putting his laps in where I think Prado really needs to be working with the team day in and day out. And I would even argue if Eli wanted to be in California all off season, it probably would be the best thing for him. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to want to be in Colorado until the weather is impossible to be in Colorado anymore. But I think for him on a pure racing level, him being in California every day of the off season would probably be the best setup possible. But life gets in the way. There's kids and families and responsibilities and all those things that he needs to be concerned with outside of simply testing every day with the team. But yeah, that's all the nuances of racing, right? If Eli was 21 years old, I can guarantee you where he would be every single day. And it would be in Murrieta and he would be at the practice track every day with the team. But that's what happens when you get older. Life doesn't always isn't always as conducive to what's the best possible thing for being a racer anymore.